It's so funny. Hello, everybody. We are live. Sorry, we're 2 minutes late, and we're both cracking up about life and the universe and how it works. It's incredible. I was just laughing like crazy yesterday because my friend's dog was totally attacked by a porcupine. And it was
What?
the same thing. Yeah, it was craziness. And it was just the same attitude of like, it's unbelievable. It's just so, it's like you have to laugh. So welcome, everybody. We have Amber, who is the organizer and founder of the Women Unleashed online retreat that is starting in 2 days on the summer solstice, right? 2 days from now?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, we have tomorrow. We have just like a little bit of an opening session to get you all primed and pumped. But then, yes, solstice is the time for all
Nice.
the fun.
Nice. Yeah. So I wanted to do this Facebook Live and, tell people a little bit more about why you started this, why it's become this really big movement. Over 60,000 women have joined in, which is incredible. It's such an amazing connected community of, spiritual women or women that just really need to get in touch with themselves. I just wrote a big thing last week and did a video about retreats and the power of retreats because I actually just helped co-organize one myself, and it was just so powerful. So tell people a little bit more about what Women Unleashed is all about and why you started it and how it got here.
Yeah, totally. So, it's really interesting. I come from a place of leading retreats, right? So I'm an art instructor. I've done all sorts of movement, different practices, and I come from the same place, Beth, where it's like we're full of so much head knowledge, right? So much people hearing, just things to do. And what would it be like instead to like actually learn from more than this space, right? To drop in deeper. And so I had done regular retreats for years. I thought this would be so cool to do online, to do something, amazing. And as a personal practice, I've always taken solstice times, that time between, when the earth, for me, I imagine it's like that space between the inhale and the exhale, right? That it just like, that's that moment, like how beautiful to just be able to do that with the earth, right? And so we've created all sorts of, this amazing opportunity for women to just to pause and to realign, to check in. Am I doing the right thing? Am I going the direction I want to be going? Am I connected to my purpose? A woman unleashed is someone who is like, not just living, ladies, but like living, right? So that's really the vision, is to help women just really connect in that way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow, this is amazing. And I love that you created this, we can do this online now. This is the power and gift of technology that, you can do it in your own home. You don't have to travel to Hawaii, although I'm determined to go to Hawaii one of these
Right, I
days.
do have the Hawaii retreat, but yes, it's a little bit more cost prohibitive for some people.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's nice that there's still this sense of community, a sense of taking pause. This is what I was saying last week, was that it's so important these days in our world of, especially for women, like we're constantly doing, we have so many roles, most women are working full time and then they have families, and we're just constantly on the go. And you're right, we're all living up in the head and losing sense. Well, not all of us, I try not to be, but losing sense of like what's truly living inside of us. Probably like you, I experienced so many people who are, oh, I really have dreamed of writing a book for 20 years, or I love doing pottery, or I want to take up calligraphy. And then they feel like, oh, but I have no time. And it's like, yeah, this is a great opportunity to at least start to tap into like, what is it that how could you express yourself? And what is it, like, is it okay to just take these breaks?
Yeah. Well, it's like, that's an interesting inquiry right there, Beth. It's like, what would it be like to not have to go away, to like take a break from your life in order to care for yourself deeply?
Wow. It's so funny you say that. I laugh because I'm like, well, for some reason, my life always seems to go better when I completely shut down for like 10 days at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, I really need to create it so that I don't have to take 2 weeks off, like literally disconnected, like, 2 or 3 times a year. Like it should be on a regular basis. It should be okay.
Yeah, totally. That's interesting, that place about like how to create a structure in our life, right? Like I talk about the creative cycle in my teachings, but like how to create a structure where it's not like full tilt boogie and then like burnout, or like I have to like stop everything, full tilt boogie and then burnout. Like there's a way to integrate pause in between, a cyclical, using rhythm, natural rhythm. The earth is such a beautiful teacher, and that's part of what we want to do with the retreat, is to help women align with that natural rhythm pause and reset and alignment and rest. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I mean, you know what, you said a key word, or term, burnout. I mean, I don't know about you, but so many people come to me. I have so many clients that get sick or have gone through major illnesses or, you know, job losses. And then they're like, you know what, actually, I don't even want to go back there. You know, like just people get burnout so easily these days. And I think it is just this misalignment we've all been taught, that we've all been living, you know, our modern society, especially, you know, I'm not there now, but I come from the New York City lifestyle of like working a million hours constantly and like not taking breaks. And it's kind of this thing, you know, it's like cool until you realize like you're on your deathbed or you have a heart attack or, you know, people literally have like mental breakdowns. And I'm so glad you're talking about this because this is why, right?
Well, it's like how strange that like we have this interesting competition in our minds, and it's not just you in New York; it's all over, right? Of like who can get the most done and who's the most busy. It's like that's like a mark of honor, and it's like that's actually not the measure I want to be measuring my life with. I want to be measuring my life in terms of my freedom and my happiness, and so it's like looking at like how to reframe, how to look at things differently, to put what we love, our priorities, you know, most of the, you know, at the top, you know, like just recently, well, not recently, I had my 40th birthday. I'm like, well, actually that was months ago. I had my 40th birthday. And, you know, I was going through and thinking like, if I was going to die, what would I regret? And really the one thing was like not writing my book. And I'm like, why am I waiting on that? Okay, no, I'm going to start writing my book. Right. So it's like, but that was birthdays or pause moments when someone gets sick, when someone dies, when you lose your job, when just when life just turns you on your head and you don't understand things anymore, right? And so instead of waiting for those times, we're creating the time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's great. No, it's so great because I know my journey involved like multiple sicknesses, you know, a parent dying suddenly, losing jobs, you know, like changing career, just so much happening. And yeah, it was like, wait a second. I've been dreaming of this one thing for like 8-9 years. Like what would happen if I just start to work on it? You know, like your book. And that's how I started on one of my past businesses, was like, oh, you know, wait a second. Like we do only live once. It's not going to kill me to start on this, even if it's just on the side, and really, you know, give it a try. Like I know you teach, you know, in this Women Unleashed retreat, there's a lot of creativity and art. And I know so many people, you know, want to express themselves. And then like, cause I went through this recently. I said, I don't know how to sing. I'm not a singer. Right. And I still don't think I am, but I had this desire that was like, wait a second. I used to sing as a kid. And back then I thought it was fun. So a few years ago, I started singing, you know, and then it was like building it up little by little. And now I've kind of gotten to that point of singing slightly public, you know, and I assume that's what happens with a lot of the women you work with, right? Like, they're feeling something and they're scared, and
it's like this place of you know, the way that I look at the journey is at first it's deeply personal, the journey of like just it's almost like your own healing, right? So for you there was like some piece of healing about like using your voice, and there was something there that you felt called towards, and so something about even honoring that calling and thinking it's not silly, it's not, you know, whatever that is, but like honoring that. So that's that healing piece first. And then what tends to happen is that that's your uniqueness. Like that's something that makes you really special. And so then it's like you have a calling many times then to share that with other people, right? So many of women that I know, like they started the online retreat. They were like, I've never created before. And they're like, oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm hanging my paintings in galleries. Oh my gosh, I'm making money, right? You know, just from like watching progression of, and these are people that aren't even my clients. These are people that are just doing the retreat that come year after year after year, you know, that love it so much. So it's looking at what is that thing for you, you know, and what could come, what could birth, right? Like we use a journal. Here's some of the journal, right? So we did journal making that's happening, and then we do creative note taking during the session, so that, you know, even people who aren't creative, like here's crayons. I'm just using some color crayons here, people, right? Or markers, right? To take notes and to like take in the messages and the things that are coming. Beth, let me see if I can find your notes. I'm sure you're in here. But it's that place of having fun, right? That you don't have to, I don't know, we live life so seriously, right? It's like, can we just play. And when we do play, here we go. Here's Beth's notes. Ooh.
Beautiful.
When we do play, there's just, what happens is that you open up to more possibility, right? There's, we talk about the right brain, left brain sides. And when you integrate both sides with creativity, with play, with opening up, gosh, the possibilities are endless then, right? You can take in more information and you have a lot more fun. And so those things that you were doing before, it's like, even if you're doing what you're doing now, but you just added like a little bit of like creativity or fun or play, it can make all the difference.
I love it. I love that you bring this up. It's so funny. It's just, inherently in my personality, I have this very young soul. Like no one can ever tell how old I am because I always act like a teenager, but in a positive way, not in the crazy teenager way. But I've always approached work like this is supposed to be fun. Like even when it's crazy, I used to work in a crazy corporate industry, corporate job, and it was high pressure. But I still always approached it with this like, hey, we spent a lot of our life working. Like we have to enjoy this, at least to the best of our ability. And yeah, there's so many people that are really like, it like shuts you down spiritually, it shuts down your creativity. And like you said, like there's now proof around, well, I'm sure the research that's gone into this, where they're saying like, this is actually helpful and beneficial. This is how startups are innovating, is getting together and doing creative things like playing, having fun, taking moments to rest, meditating, because they see the benefit in, innovation and sparking new ideas. But if you're just so busy, like trying to be perfect constantly and trying to work really hard and do with no space, it's like, and then you're in like a box and you can't really see past that box.
Totally. You have to have space for creativity. It's absolutely necessary. Like that pause moment for creativity to happen. Because without that, then, like you said, you're into the, like, part of what it is like you're looking through the lens of what you've seen work in the past, right? And there's only so much here, right? There's the what ifs and possibilities that are over here that if you don't tap into creative brain, you can't even get here. You can't even get here. So, I mean, all the studies have shown different things as far as innovation, creative problem solving, those things, but also productivity. Like your productivity dramatically drops after a certain point if you don't take breaks.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm talking like an hour, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not talking like 10 days or something. Like I'm talking like there's, studies that show how to be the most productive, and then that has to include play and fun and break. So, yes.
Yeah, no, I love it. It was so funny. I was just talking to someone about this, actually, one of my friends who's a healer and just really gifted and talented, but he was saying something about, like I've had to do this because I get so entrenched in my work because I love it so much, but actually setting an alarm to take breaks, just to move the body and get out of a seat, because of course, I sit at a computer most of the time, but that, and, he said something, and I've said this too, just in a different way, about, he used the analogy of being in pain, right? Like, cause he's a healer and he deals with physical pain, but, he said if everybody was actually healed of their physical pain, to a point, like if most of this planet was actually not living in pain, like we would probably have this world peace, or everybody would just be happier. But when people are in pain and then it makes them feel bad, they, let's say, have more tendency to lash out or get angry or, like cut off you on the freeway or whatever. And I've said this about, expressing yourself and doing what you love and doing what you dream of is, when people are misaligned constantly and just working and working hard and really not like enjoying life so much, like maybe they enjoy 10% of their life, it just creates this like world, a world of unhappy people. And those are, that's the road rage. That's, people yelling at each other in line. This is, it escalates to these larger scales. Like, hey, if everybody actually tuned into their heart and did these things to take care of themselves, like took time to nourish, took time to have fun, took time to, make play, like with work, then imagine what our world would be like,
Totally, Beth. When you were talking, it reminded me of, especially for women, because I work with women. And so, we do so good at like giving to other people and sharing and loving up. And what happens is that like, it's like we're a volcano and we build and we build and we build until we finally just like explode over everybody, all the people that we love. And this place comes with, so at first it's like, okay, I'm good. And then it's like giving so much. So it's almost like you're digging into yourself, and you start to feel resentful. You start to feel like, and like when that starts to happen, then it's like that martyr thing comes out. Like, you know, I know like when I get to that, there's a point I can feel it. My kids and husband, they laugh. They know. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, Anne, mom's going into bitchy mood right now. And like, watch out, you know, and that happens when I'm not taking care of me. Right. And so I think about like, what kind of mom do I want to be with my kids? Like, what memories do I want them to have of me? Do I want them to remember me like freaking out on them? No, I want them to remember like the fun things that we do, you know, and same with my husband, like my partner, like I want him, like for us to be in true partnership, to not, you know, be like swinging so much. And that's what I've learned is like that place of self-care is like, that's been the foundation so that we talked earlier about that swinging between like, you know, doing it really hard and then like burning out piece. Right. But it's like, okay, it's like, we're going to talk health for a second, right? Like, it's kind of like health. Like, you know, you should take care of your health, but really don't do anything about it maybe until you get like diagnosed with something. You're like, okay, this is a priority now, right? So it's the same thing with you and your passion and, you know, your fire, like what that thing that makes you yummy in you. Like sometimes it's like that just gets put underneath like everyone else, your kids, your partner, your work, everything, until it's like one day you wake up and you're like, well, where did I go? Yeah. And, you know, so self-care, creative practice, meditation, like those are the pieces that help you stay connected, aligned to what really matters to you.
Yeah, that's awesome. You said it so right. Because I think of, you know, like my parents I love them both. They were great, you know, but yeah, there was this point I remember where my mom was like, it was kind of like, you know what, I'm done. I want a divorce. And I know it was that, you know, a lot of years of built up resentment of like, I'm doing so much and it's not true partnership. And looking back, yeah, I don't have that. I mean, my family's pretty amazing. I love them both. But yeah, a lot of the memories are like, just this kind of household versus like, oh, okay, everybody's needs are being met in some way. Like everybody has free time to take care of themselves. But, you know, and yeah, there are so many families out there these days that are like that are just, it's just this constant like struggle and push pull and arguing. And, you know, like life is hard, you know, and I think we've all been taught wrong. Like, yeah, there's challenges, but it doesn't have to be hard. And I think it's, you know, like what you've been saying, like really fulfilling your spirit and really taking time for yourself. Like even as a mother, even with multiple kids, even, you know, working mom, everything. Like everybody still needs self-care. The fathers too. One of my clients is actually, he's a male CEO with 4 children. And, you know, a lot going on, like a multi-million-dollar company. And he's finally like, wow, I didn't realize this was so powerful to take a day off or to like not go into the office or to sleep in, you know? And I was like, wow, yeah, that's the term for that is actually called self-care. You know, like it was great, but it was like this epiphany, and his life and his business have actually been like better and growing, and everything's been aligning so perfectly well because of all this. And it's like, there's so much truth in this. Now, I have a question about the retreat. Now, really quickly, like I know there's a lot of art, there's me talking about finding your purpose. What are some other things that go on, and what can people expect? Like, what if someone's like, I don't paint?
Oh, yeah, that's cool. You don't have to paint. Yeah. We have so many people that are beginners. Like, I mean, just from my own story, and this is just the creative piece, right? That, you know, for most of my life, I thought I wasn't creative until maybe about 10 years ago. And then I finally stopped tapping back into that side of myself. But I've been like, I live corporate most of my life, you know, and so, you know, we have people that are coming in all the time that don't have, I mean, they maybe have like a journal that's lying around and they have some color crayons, right? And so a lot of the sessions, we have some art, we have some painting, we have people just using crayons like I showed you. We have different movement sessions. So it's also movement, getting into your body. We have meditation. We have workshops on everything from, like with Beth, we talked about purpose and aligning with your purpose and how to tap into that passion. We talk about, hold on, let me flip through it. There's so many different things. Manifestation. We talked about like holding your own circles and creating community for yourself. Looking at like what you want to create, like what your vision, those types of things. We have writing workshops, like for if you're a writer and you want to do some writing, connecting to your soul and spirit. As well as different activations, right? So we have, you know, wealth activation. So some energy work as well. So it's like this really beautiful piece, because like I mentioned before, there's so much information, like we're told so much what to do. And so it's how to get that information in different ways, right? Through your body, through creativity, through energy work, through, you know, whatever that piece is for you. And so there's so many delicious, wonderful guides.
I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm so excited. And everybody just be sure to click the link in this Facebook Live post. You'll see it there. And join in, because this is so fun. And yeah, if you don't want to paint, you don't have to paint. But I personally recommend. I actually painted on Saturday for the first time in I don't know how many years, and it was oddly, yeah, it was weird. I was like, wow, this is so much nicer than I didn't think I had it in me. And my friend's like, wow, that actually looks good. I'm like, yeah, it does. And it was just so fun. And it was like I was in the moment and just like not caring. And yeah. So all of this, you know, body movement, of course, meditation, everybody knows what I talk about constantly. All of it. Oh, I'm so excited. So anything else you want to tell people before we close here?
Just to come, right? So come, you know, we have the sessions that are happening, you know, they start tomorrow. We have our opening session and it kind of runs along, and then we leave them open for a bit. So don't feel like, oh shoot, I've got something going next week, I can't do it. Sign up. You have plenty of time to watch the sessions, to really integrate them in your life. And then also taking a look that, like, I know for me that like even one session, one moment of one session has the power to completely change your life. And so being open to that, and what if that happened for you?
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know it's super early over there in Hawaii. I thank you for your time. And everybody, join us at the retreat. It's going to be so fun. It's really incredible. And thank you so much for all the work you do, Amber. It's so important.
Big love to you.
You too. Bye. Have a great day.